This film tells the story of a wealthy old man named Bill, who is a former legendary rock musician. Bill spends his old age in a luxurious villa with his young wife, Isabel. Despite being old and having leukemia, Bill remains active in his hobby of hunting rabbits to fill his days. Isabel, a beautiful and young woman, often flirts with David, a pool cleaner at the villa. Isabel swims with her beauty, making David feel awkward but also intrigued by Isabel's beauty and having dirty thoughts. Isabel's dissatisfaction with the old and no longer able to keep up with their created game often leads her to act on her interests in others. Currently, Isabel is curious about David. One night, Isabel prepares dinner for her husband who is playing music. Like young musicians, they chat and dance happily, enjoying the night accompanied by their music. After they finish playing, Bill asks Isabel if she wants to play with someone else. Isabel just laughs. Although she has that desire, she knows that Bill won't allow it. However, surprisingly, Bill gives Isabel permission to play with someone else as long as it's done discreetly and without his knowledge. The next day, Isabel takes advantage of this opportunity and starts playing with David. Unfortunately, even though she's with David, Isabel doesn't feel the pleasure she expected. David doesn't meet Isabel's expectations because he seems inexperienced and not skilled in the game she desires. The opportunity that should have been an exciting experience for David is wasted by him. Not long after that, Isabel is visited by a guest named Lucas, her former husband's stepson and her ex-lover. Lucas comes to Bill's villa to ask Isabel to hand over the inheritance left by his father. Lucas suspects that Isabel has done something illegal to obtain all of his father's wealth. However, Isabel refuses Lucas' request because the inheritance has already fallen into her hands with the approval of Lucas's own father. Not stopping there, Lucas prepares a flash drive containing their past videos to give to Bill, hoping to make Bill jealous and divorce Isabel, so that Lucas can easily take back his inheritance. Suddenly, Bill arrives with a rabbit he caught and asks Isabel to prepare their dinner. Meanwhile, Bill and Lucas discuss Lucas' arrival at the villa. Lucas reminds Bill that Isabel only wants to drain his wealth, just like she did to his father. However, Bill doesn't see it as a problem because he is old and has no family. Finally, they have dinner together. Lucas wants to discuss the inheritance issue seriously with Isabel in front of Bill. However, Bill says that the documents brought by Lucas are not strong enough to prove that Lucas deserves his father's inheritance. Lucas feels that this situation is extremely unfair because he and his mother, who have been with his father for 37 years, didn't receive any share of the inheritance while it fell into the hands of Isabel, who was only married to his father for a few years. Isabel, who is not accepting Lucas' claim, immediately becomes emotional and states that Isabel and Lucas' father got married after he divorced his wife, so Lucas and his mother have no right to any part of the inheritance. Is Isabel really a good and obedient young wife, or someone full of intrigue and greed? Let's continue to the next video. The next day, Bill invites Lucas to go hunting in the forest surrounding the villa. Meanwhile, Isabel takes David to her private spa room to do something. However, Isabel still feels disappointed with David because she is not happy with David's brief performance and his inability to fulfill her desires. Elsewhere, Lucas mentions that he also had an affair with his stepmother, Isabel, and recorded the scene that was originally going to be shown to Bill. However, due to Bill's indifference, Lucas changes his mind. Bill and Lucas finally return to the villa. Bill goes straight back to his room, while Lucas relaxes by the pool, watching Isabel swimming. David, who seems frustrated for not being able to satisfy Isabel, makes himself look like a loser in Isabel's eyes. However, Isabel gives David one last chance. If David still can't satisfy her this time, Isabel will fire him and look for another pet. To Isabel, David may seem like a cute but weak kitten. Seeing their suspicious behavior, Lucas devises a plan to bring Isabel down through her relationship with David. When dinner time arrives, Lucas and Isabel continue to argue about the inheritance. Lucas threatens Isabel by saying that he will expose her secrets to everyone, even to the newspapers. Feeling pressured, Isabel confides in Bill that Lucas will do something terrible to her. However, Bill, being a senior and skilled at judging people, tells Isabel that Lucas is just bluffing and won't dare to do it. Bill suggests to his wife that they divide Lucas' father's inheritance in half, because if Bill were to pass away, all his belongings would fall into Isabel's hands. Finally, Isabel gives in to Lucas and agrees to meet him, willing to give half of the inheritance happily. However, Lucas rejects the offer because he believes that the entire inheritance left by his father belongs to him and his mother. Feeling frustrated, Isabel returns to her room and sees Bill sitting contemplatively in the bathroom. Isabel approaches Bill, who seems stressed or perhaps heartbroken. Lucas launches his idea to incite David. He says that Isabel will surely surrender if David becomes more aggressive with a wild playing style. Trapped by Lucas' words, David immediately pulls Isabel and tries to act in a crazy manner. However, Isabel rebels and rejects David. Isabel's scream is heard by Bill, who grabs his shotgun and shoots David right in front of Isabel. Bill then tries to calm down the frightened Isabel. Lucas panics because this doesn't align with his plan. He tries to call the police, but from behind, Bill suddenly hits Lucas on the head with his shotgun, causing Lucas to faint. When he regains consciousness, Lucas finds himself tied up in front of Isabel, who is holding the shotgun. Isabel then places Lucas' finger on the trigger, making it seem as if Lucas is the one who killed David. The story continues as Isabel tries to drag David's body, but she can't. Isabel approaches Lucas and asks him to help her, promising that she won't involve Lucas in the murder. Lucas agrees and helps Isabel take care of David's body. The next day, Isabel is seen swimming, accompanied by Lucas, who watches her while relaxing. Lucas asks Isabel about her plans for the future because he doesn't have a passport or money to leave the country. Isabel tries to be kind by offering him a sum of money so that Lucas can leave the villa. However, Lucas refuses. He will not leave until he can fully possess all the inheritance money left by his father. Isabel advises Lucas not to be greedy because no matter what his plans are, he won't succeed. Bill is currently meeting with his acquaintance in the police to handle everything. At night, a drunk Lucas enters Bill's office and starts snooping around. However, Isabel scolds him not to intrude. Under the influence of alcohol, Lucas mocks everything in Bill's room as futile, angering Isabel. Lucas is unhappy with Isabel's attitude and tries to choke her. He keeps accusing Isabel of destroying his family until Bill arrives and stops Lucas. Bill, who has a well-thought-out plan, offers an opportunity for Isabel and Lucas to benefit from the situation. They dig up David's grave and return him to the swimming pool. Once everything is arranged, Bill starts explaining his plan. Bill asks Lucas to kill him because he is currently dying from leukemia and other complications. Bill convinces Lucas that he won't be a suspect because Bill has meticulously planned everything, making it appear as if Bill is the culprit behind David's murder and the attempted murder of Lucas. If this plan succeeds, Lucas will be given a passport and his father's inheritance money. Isabel will receive her husband's insurance and all of Bill's wealth. As a guarantee to prevent Lucas from bothering Isabel again, Bill instructs his wife to record a confession about Lucas shooting Bill. So, if Lucas bothers Isabel again, she will spread the video on all forums and to the police. The execution time has begun. Bill aims the shotgun at his chest, and finally, Lucas shoots him. However, the film doesn't end here. After Bill's death, Isabel's true nature emerges. She is a greedy and money-crazed woman. Unwilling to let any other inheritance slip away, Isabel plans to eliminate Lucas. Fortunately, Lucas has a hidden pair of scissors and kicks Isabel, causing her to fall into the pool. Lucas then frees himself from the rope with the scissors. He tries to shoot Isabel, who is hiding under David's body, but unfortunately, the shot misses. Suddenly, Isabel shoots Lucas directly in the chest, killing him on the spot. In the end of the film, Isabel is seen contacting someone and saying that everything is done. And that's the end of this film.